Welcome everybody to Jimmy John's Field on this gorgeous Friday evening. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler with you here for this matchup between the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers and the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. And Dan, last night the Beavers came off a very strong win, winning 9-4 over the Westside Woolly Mammoths.
Yeah, they did. You know, it was a really good game. And, I mean, the Beavers, all in that one inning, got all those runs. What was that?
That
inning?
was
Like
the sixth inning.
Yes.
Where they absolutely just exploded for 7 runs. You had RBIs from pretty much everyone in the lineup. You had DeAndre Clark, Nick Wilson, Lewis Johnson, DJ Martinez, Gerard Hernandez. All those guys got runs that inning, or RBIs that inning. And you went through the order like one and a half times.
Yeah.
It was quite an explosive inning. And you're wondering, Dan, if they're going to carry that momentum over in today's ball game, perhaps.
Yes, maybe. You know, the Beavers already played. The Diamond Hoppers have yet to play for this weekend. So, hopefully, maybe it does continue.
And it'll be a good matchup, too, because the Beavers have Kevin Matthews on the mound. And, Dan, we've seen a little bit from him already this season.
Yeah.
He has pitched phenomenally in
Yes,
his appearances so far. And he's got a 6.64 ERA across 14 innings pitched, 3 games, 3 hits, 9 walks, and 27 strikeouts with a .86 whip. And those are all outstanding stats, but the most outstanding of them all is the 27 strikeouts and only 14 innings pitched.
Yeah.
And that's just unheard of.
It is. It's phenomenal, you know.
His control is all there. He strikes guys out like crazy. And just phenomenal pitcher, but his only issue is because he strikes so many guys out, his pitch count gets really high, so he doesn't get very deep into games, and that, you know, you can see that with his 14 innings pitched. So really the thing he's looking for this game is to be more efficient on the mound. If he wants to go and, you know, give his team a really good chance to win, he's got to go at least 6 innings.
Yes, he does. And, you know, also the Birmingham Beavers, they have also Matt Rogers going on the mound as well, so it's going to be pretty good to see.
And on the mound for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers will be Matt Rogers, just like you mentioned, Dan. He's 2-0 today with a 4.61 ERA, 3 games played, 13.2 innings pitched, with 9 hits, 9 walks, and 7 strikeouts. So he's doing all right. He's definitely going to want to get his walk rate down. He's got a lot of walks, more walks than he has strikeouts. He's only given up 9 hits, which isn't too terrible. But like I said, Dan, if he wants to give his team a chance to win today, he's going to need to get those walks down.
Yes, he does. And, you know, the Diamond Hoppers, I mean, watch them on the base pads as well because they're very aggressive, that is. So.
Yeah, they're extremely aggressive on the base pads, and it's going to be very dangerous for the Beavers. They're going to have to watch out for that, and Matt Rogers is going to have to be very careful. Kevin Matthews is going to have to be very careful about the runners on the base pads, but I have confidence that he won't even allow that many guys on the base pads. I mean, he's only let up 3 hits all season, so I have confidence that he'll do fantastic today. It's a beautiful day today, 78 degrees and partly cloudy.
The rest of the weekend's going to be in the 90s, so.
We'll see how this goes. Meanwhile, I'll send it down to the field for starting lineups.
Newell. Leading off, batting first from Hayward, California, the center fielder number 26, Don Andre Clark. Batting second from Deming, New Mexico, the third baseman number 10, Dan Cannon. Batting third from Decatur, Georgia, the first baseman number 6, Nick Wilson. Batting fourth from Berlin, Texas, the right fielder number 3, Nick Buckner. Batting fifth from Riverside, California, tonight's designated hitter number 19, Lewis Johnson. Batting sixth from Montpelier, Virginia, the shortstop number 1, DJ Martinez. Batting seventh from Phoenix, Arizona, the left fielder number 11, Gerard Hernandez. Batting eighth from Warren, Michigan, the catcher number 23, Conrad Kolchak. Batting ninth from New Hyde Park, New York, the second baseman number 13, Thomas Rulis. And the starting pitcher for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers tonight from Eatonton, North Carolina, number 21, Kevin Matthews. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bring on your home team for this evening, the Eastside Hoppers. And meet the Hoppers tonight. This time, we would like to first introduce the manager, coaches, and reserves. First, the manager of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, Paul Nugent and Owen Nelson. Batting third from Lumberton, North Carolina, the left fielder number 22, Chris Power, with Jack Parkila and Scout Poltorak. Batting fourth from Elmhurst, Illinois, the right fielder number 12, Sean Metkin, with Blair Malowski and Michael Passon. Batting fifth from Toll House, California, the third baseman number 5, Casey Chenoweth, with Quinn Carroll. Batting sixth from Brooklyn, New York, the first baseman number 21, Esteban Gomez, with Douglas Hassan and Nate McBride. Batting seventh from Chicago, Illinois, tonight's designated hitter number 20, Jeremy Scott, with Gianni Petrucci and Jacob Kalish. Batting eighth from Tallahassee, Florida, the catcher number 4, Kyle Figueroa, with Karsten Martin and Brady Malowski. Batting ninth from Pleasanton, California, the center fielder number 13, Joe Maroney, with Van Swanson. And the starting pitcher for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers tonight, from Clarkston, Michigan, number 11, Matt Rogers, with Julian Ferretti. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats. Veterans and active military may keep your caps on while rendering the hand salute as we honor America and our military with the singing of our national anthem, performed this evening by Jasmine Vallis.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Great job. Let's give her a hand, everyone.
Welcome back, everyone, to this beautiful Friday evening between the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers and the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. And Dan, you want to go through the lineups for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers?
Yes, I have for you. Birmingham Beavers lineup. Batting first and playing center field, you have DeAndre Clark. Batting second and playing third base, you have Dan Kennan. Actually playing third base, yeah. Batting third and playing first base is Nick Wilson. Batting fourth and playing right field is Nicholas Buckner. Batting fifth and playing, actually designated hitter today, Lewis Johnson. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, DJ Martinez. Batting seventh and playing left field, Gerard Hernandez. Batting eighth and playing catcher, Conrad Kovalik, which is a brand new addition to USPBL.
Straight out of Warren, Michigan, Dan.
Yeah. Batting ninth and playing right field, second base, Thomas Rulis. Now, on defensively for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, you have at third base Casey Chenoweth. At shortstop, you have Ricky Castro. At second, you have Cam Stewart. At first, you have Esteban Gomez. Catcher is Kyle Figueroa. And in left field, you have Chris Power. Center field, Joe Maroney. And in right, you have John Mankin. And on the mound, like we said, is Matt Rogers.
And Dan, leading it off for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers today will be DeAndre Clark. And
He's a power hitter.
interesting thing about him is he is a switch hitter, bats both left and right. He's naturally a righty, though. But strangely enough, well, I guess not so strangely when you think about it, he actually bats better from the left side despite being a natural righty because of the fact that you obviously are going to face more righties on the mound than you will lefties. So most of the times you're going to see him up there as a lefty batter rather than a righty batter. So interesting little fact about him. Also, he is just batting unbelievably well at, I believe, batting average is .439. At least it was yesterday. That's obviously up to change.
I think it's at .404 now.
And just, yes, that's exactly it. Hitting unbelievably well. And we're just a couple moments now from the first pitch today. DeAndre Clark playing center field today. And like I mentioned, the righty on the mound, so he's batting left to start. Here comes the first pitch of the ball game. He shows bunt in there for a ball, 1-0. First pitch is at 7:04 p.m.
On this beautiful Friday evening.
Yeah, yesterday I was looking at the forecast and it threatened a thunderstorm all day long, but it seems like it's going to miss us entirely as this ended up being just a gorgeous day. As that one's flied foul, 1-1 now on DeAndre Clark. And just like almost every other clear day, we have a shadow overtaking the plate. It's going to make it difficult for the hitters as that ball comes from the sunshine to the shade. So it's going to be early here in the ball games. I expect to see a much more pitcher-oriented game. As the 1-1 comes in, it's going to be just drilled foul. So 1-2. As he steps back in the box now. DeAndre Clark in yesterday's game went 0 for 4, as that one's grounded over to the third baseman. Throw down to Gomez is a little bit high, but he makes the play. So he's going to be out. DeAndre Clark grounds out his first plate appearance. So Dan Kennan will step in with one out here in the top of the first inning. Quick out by Matt Rogers is a good sign. Dan Kennan in yesterday's ball game went 1 for 5. He had a base hit and eventually came around to score in that explosive 6th inning for the Beavers. Comes the first pitch to him. Swung on towards the gap in right center field, but Menken's going to get underneath it and make the play. So 2 up, 2 down quickly here for Matt Rogers. So it's up to the power hitter Nick Wilson to step in. Still not 100% after he re-aggravated a knee injury, but
Did a great job last night.
yeah, he had a good game last night. He ended up going 2 for 3. He had a walk, 2 base hits, and 2 RBIs. So
and was my player of the game.
The knee clearly isn't bothering him too much, Dan.
No.
Here comes the first pitch to him. He's not even going to think about that one, because that's a ball, 1-0. Ball hadn't even gotten to the plate yet, Dan, and he already put his bat down. He knew from the get-go that one wasn't going anywhere. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That one's down low for a ball, 2-0 now.
And Nick Wilson loves to crowd the plate.
Yes, he does. Most pitchers will pitch him inside, though, because he crowds the plate and he holds his hands so high, it's hard for him to get those pitches inside. Here comes the 2-0. Just as I said, an inside pitch, although it missed for a ball, 3-0 on him. Yeah, most pitchers are very cautious around Nick Wilson, Dan, just because of how dangerous he is at the plate. He can really fly those long balls out there. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Going to be down low for a ball. He's going to walk him on 4 straight pitches, and not taking any chances is Matt Rogers, as he's going to face Nick Buckner now. So with 2 outs, you have Nick Wilson at first in the top half of the first. Up to Nick Buckner now to move him along. Buckner in yesterday's game was 2 for 4. He had a double and a base hit. No RBIs for him, though. As that one's in there for a strike. 0-1 on Buckner now. Wilson with a decent lead down there at first. They're not holding him to the bag, though. It was the 0-1 pitch. And Wilson's going to advance to second on that wild pitch by Matt Rogers.
We've seen quite a few wild pitches last night.
Yeah, we saw a lot of them yesterday. Buckner tried to check his swing, though, but couldn't, so it's going to count as a strike anyways on that one. But Wilson is now in scoring position, so Buckner has a chance to get his team on the board here in the top half of the first with a base hit. Wilson, though, is not the fastest of runners on the base paths. Comes the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled right into the screen behind home plate. It's going to remain 0-2. And no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. 0-0 ball game, but the Beavers have an opportunity to strike first. Rogers decides on a pitch. He delivers. He's going to ground that one up the middle, but right to Ricky Castro. Throw it on to first is going to get him. And the Beavers threaten but don't score here in the top of the first inning, so we'll go to the bottom of the first, remaining tied 0-0. We're due up for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Will be Ricky Castro to lead it off, followed by Cam Stewart and Chris Powers. So we'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
Now we have the Eastside Diamond Hoppers coming up the bat. And the Diamond Hoppers lineup will be as follows. Leading off and batting first is Ricky Castro, and he's at short again. And then you have batting second, Cam Stewart, and he's at second base. Batting third and playing left field is Chris Power. Batting fourth, John Mencken, and he's in right. Batting fifth, Casey Chenoweth, and he's at third today. Batting sixth and playing first base, Esteban Gomez. Batting seventh, and at the designated hitter position is Jeremy Scott. Batting eighth and playing catcher is Kyle Figueroa. And batting ninth, you have Joe Maroney, and he's in center.
So Ricky Castro will step in now as he prepares to face Kevin Matthews. Good matchup here. The lefty Kevin Matthews has been dealing in his 3 games so far this season. The first pitch that Castro sees will be outside, a ball, 1-0. But Ricky Castro, batting .365 so far in the season with 19 hits, is definitely a force to be reckoned with. It's like the immovable object meets the unstoppable force, as it's 1-1 on him now. The 1-1 pitch, swung on and flied foul. 1-2 now on Castro. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Way outside as Kovalik has to stretch his arm out to get that one. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch is in. Swung on and tipped foul underneath the legs of the umpire, actually. And it will remain even. And there's going to be a quick chat at the mound between Kovalik and Matthews. Kovalik making his USPBL debut with the Beavers.
So wants to get on the same page as him.
It can always be a little bit difficult getting a new catcher in, as you have to build up chemistry and get on the same page. So this will be an interesting game to watch for Kovalik. Kovalik actually from Warren, Michigan, right down the road. As here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Big rip there by Ricky Castro. But Matthews just throwing the heat by him at 92 miles an hour. So the first out for the Hoppers today will be a strikeout swinging. So now Cam Stewart will step in, playing second base today for the Hoppers. And the first pitch he sees, he's going to swing on and miss. 0-1 on him. Big rip there by Cam Stewart, thinking he was getting something else. In the game the other day, on the 4th, the Cam Stewart had 3 RBIs. Went long ball, too, on a solo shot. Back in the 3rd. Then followed that up in the 3rd inning as well with a RBI double. Oh, and 2 on Cam Stewart. 1-2, correction. Yeah, Cam Stewart ended up going 2 for 3 because he drew 2 walks, too. Definitely the player of the game in that game. As that one's going to be inside, so the count will fall even at 2 apiece.
And also the last time these two teams faced each other, which was last Friday night, Cam Stewart also had a home run, and it was back in the 8th inning.
Yeah, so 2 of Cam Stewart's home runs, correction, as he's going to strike out looking, actually, as we're talking. So 2 strikeouts for Kevin Matthews, and he just continues to cruise through batters one after another in all of his appearances so far. He's had 27 strikeouts on the season so far and only 14 innings pitched. Now he's added 2 more here in the first 2/3 of an inning. So Kevin Matthews just continues to just dust batters off left and right, as Chris Power will step in now. Chris Power batting .292 on the season. That one's going to be low and away for a ball, 1-0.
Last time these two teams faced, Chris Power was on base a lot, and he drove in 4 runners with those 4 RBIs there.
And last time they played, too, he had a few RBIs. He had a base hit for an RBI and got hit by a pitch and had another infield single to the top of that. So he gets on base paths a lot. So he's definitely someone you want to watch out for. But Kevin Matthews has not had much issue so far as of yet, as a check swing there is appealed down to first, but it's going to be a ball. So 3-0 now on Chris Power. And that was one thing that Kevin Matthews struggled with as well, as he had a lot of walks along with his strikeouts. As that's going to be in there for a ball. So he's very consistent in the way he pitches. That's for sure, Dan. He tends to strike out a lot and walk a lot. Not a whole lot of hits against him. Only 3 hits so far in the season, but 9 walks and 14 innings pitched is more than you want. But 27 is strikeouts at 14 is way more than. Well, I'm sure no team's going to complain about that, though.
No.
So John Mankin will step in now, batting .314 on the season. He's got a home run to his name. Last time out when they played the Unicorns back on the 4th, he went just 1 for 5, but he did get an RBI in that 1 base hit. Chris Power slowly adding on to his lead down there at first. First pitch to John Mankin is in. It's going to be high for a ball, 1-0. Comes the 1-0 pitch. He's going to fly that one foul. 2-0 on him. And the sun has gotten in the way. The clouds have gotten in the way of the sun here at Jimmy John's Field, making it very now almost dark on the field, as they're going to toss down to first very casually, just to make sure that Chris Power stays where he's at. So I'd imagine the lights are going to come on soon here at Jimmy John's Field. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. High for a ball, 2-1. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Inside for a ball. Going to get away from Kovalik, but not far. So 3-1 on John Mankin as Matthews threatens to walk yet another guy. Comes the 3-1 pitch. It's going to be inside, get away from Kovalik, but because it's a walk, Chris Power just has to jog down there to second. So 2 strikeouts to start it, and now 2 consecutive walks.
Different trend there.
So just like the Beavers in the top half of the inning, the Hoppers will have a man in scoring position with 2 outs in the first inning. Chance to cash in. So Casey Chenoweth will step in now. Comes the first pitch to him. Way outside, and that's going to allow the runners to advance. So now runners will be at second and third because a wild pitch got away from Kovalik. So now Casey Chenoweth can drive possibly 2 runs in with a base hit here and get on the board first. Neither team has a hit yet, despite the fact that there are runners at second and third. Both of those guys got on base thanks to walks. Casey Chenoweth just batting .209 on the season so far. He's got 1 home run, though, as that one's going to be inside for a ball, 1-0.
To accompany that 1 home run, he has 9 hits.
Comes the 2-0 pitch. Inside for 3-0 now. And Kevin Matthews might walk his third batter in a row now after striking out the first two men in this inning. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Got to be in there for a strike. 3-1 now. Three balls, one strike, two outs. Men at second and third here in the bottom of the first. Here comes the 3-1. Outside for a ball. So after striking out the first two batters, Kevin Matthews is going to walk the bases loaded.
Struggling a little bit here with his command.
Yeah, he looked great in his first two at bats he faced, and his control's kind of gotten out there in the last few ones. So Esteban Gomez will step in, batting .289 on the season. Definitely someone you want to be careful of, and that might be what they're discussing at the mound as to what to do here.
Like we were talking about Kevin Matthews, he does go 5 innings at least.
That's normally what he does, and out of a starter, you tend to want him to go a little bit longer than that. And the umpire is going to come up and break up the meeting at the mound, just trying to settle down Matthews up there as he's probably getting a little bit riled up. Esteban Gomez batting .289 so far. Last game against the Unicorns back on the 4th. He went 1 for 2. He reached on a base hit and drew 3 walks in that ball game. So Esteban Gomez is very good at showing patience at the plate, as proof is his 11 walks on the season.
And last time these two teams faced, which was last Friday night again, he did have he had a walk and a hit, but it was a 2 RBI triple from him.
The first pitch to Esteban Gomez is low and away, and I believe that's the only triple we've seen so far this season, Dan.
It was in the 7th inning.
Comes the 1-0 pitch. It's going to be down low for a ball. 2-0 now.
Steve and myself were on the call for that one.
Yeah, I was not there for that one, unfortunately. But I'm sure Steve enjoyed filling in. Bases loaded with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. The 2-0 pitch in there for a strike. 2-1 now. Kevin Matthews was cruising through the first 2 batters of this inning. 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 looking, then has walked the next 3 for the bases to be loaded now. So he's going to try and work out of this jam. Comes the 2-1 pitch. Swung foul into the netting. 2-2. Count is even. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The 2-2. Gonna be a ball. 3-2 now. Full count. Lots of people over there on the hill like normal. The grandstand is pretty good right in front of us.
We got Friday night fireworks tonight, so it's gonna be spectacular.
I'm not surprised that this many people showed up on a night like tonight. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Runners are going. He's going to sky that one in the left field, but more or less just a pop-up. And running back to make that play is DJ Martinez. So after 1 inning, the Hoppers threaten but do not score after having a bases loaded with 2 outs. So it's going to go to the top of the 2nd inning with no score here at Jimmy John's Field. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the second inning here at Jimmy John's Field on this gorgeous Friday evening. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler here. It's the Beavers versus the Hoppers, and we have a 0-0 score here.
Kevin Matthews was really shaky there.
Yeah, he looked dominant. The first two guys he faced was striking out them, and then he walked the next three guys. But he got out of the jam, so the score is still 0-0, and Lewis Johnson will step in, the DH, batting 136 on the season. As the first pitch he sees is going to be in for a strike, 0-1. When Lewis Johnson played last night, he went 1 for 4 with an RBI single. That came part of the explosive sixth inning. As that ball's outside, 2-1.
And he did
or
not.
1-1. I don't know.
And he did not play, I don't believe, last Friday night. Oh, actually, yeah, he did. He had 4 for 6 double play. Not much from him.
As that ball's way inside, 2-1.
Only had 1 hit that ball game.
Lewis Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's only got a 136 batting average, so I imagine he's going to want to improve on that. Only 3 hits on the season as of yet, as he fouls that one, so it's 2-2. The pitcher's going to scrape something off of his cleat. The 2-2 pitch is in. And he's going to swing and fly that one fair down the third base line, past the third baseman Chenoweth, and he's going to try for extra bases. He's going to turn back halfway down, though. So it's going to be a base hit, the first hit of the ball game here in the top of the second inning for Lewis Johnson. So that's his 4th hit of the season.
Just out of the reach of Casey Chenoweth's glove there.
Casey Chenoweth made a good attempt on that, diving to try and make the play, but it just passed him down the third base line. And Lewis Johnson turned and looked like he was about to turn on the afterburners and then stopped about halfway to second and turned around. So DJ Martinez will step in now, and he's batting .262 on the season. He had himself a 1 RBI game, went 2 for 4. And that one's going to be in for a strike, 0-1.
Last time these two teams faced, Martinez was on base twice, and back in the first inning of that game, he had a stolen base and an RBI.
DJ Martinez definitely not unfamiliar with the steal attempts, playing shortstop. He's got a ton of speed. They threw down to first, but Lewis Johnson got back easily. Here comes the 0-1, and Johnson's going. They're going to swing and a miss. And it's going to be a steal without even a throw. So Lewis Johnson's going to steal second, so DJ Martinez has a chance to bring home a run with no outs here in the top of the second inning. It's 0-2 on DJ Martinez as he swung at that pitch in an attempt to interfere with Figueroa behind the plate. The 0-2 pitch is skied out to right field, and Menken's going to get underneath it and make the play as Johnson's going to tag up and try to advance. No throw as the cutoff man gets it. So DJ Martinez moves up the runner to third base, and there'll be 1 out now in the top of the second inning. Gerard Hernandez will come in and try to advance him that 1 extra base to home. He was my player of the game last night. He went 1 for 3 with a base hit, a sac fly, and 3 RBIs.
Did a great job.
Did a fantastic job doing what he needed to get done to bring home the runs. Sac fly is definitely nothing to be ashamed of. He brought home the run, got his mission accomplished out there. Only hitting 125 on the season. Comes the first pitch to him. He's going to sky that one in the netting behind home plate. So 0-1 on him. Rogers decides on his pitch. Here comes the 0-1. He's going to swing that and hit that one foul. 0-2. Lewis Johnson has Advanced all the way to third here with 1 out after he got a base hit, stole second, and then advanced to third on DJ Martinez's fly out. So with 1 out, he's got a chance to give his team the lead. Comes the 0-2 to Hernandez. Hit into the netting behind home plate once again. So it's going to remain 0-2 now.
Thankful for that long stretched netting behind home plate.
Yeah, it's a regulation code and very, obvious reasons why it is such. Comes the 0-2 pitch. Swung and drilled to straightaway center field, but Maroney's going to stop just shy of the warning track to make the play. But meanwhile, Lewis Johnson is going to tag up, and he's going to score to give his team a 1-0 lead. So Gerard Hernandez is going to have a sac fly RBI to straightaway center field and give his team the lead. So Conrad Kovalik will step in for his USPBL debut.
From Warren, Michigan.
Yeah, he's from right down the road. He is playing catcher today. As he swings and misses at the first pitch he sees, 0-1. Yesterday we saw the debut of Ian Yetzko for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Did not get a base hit though. Comes the 0-1. Swung on and missed again, 0-2.
The OU guy.
He seems a little bit, Ian Yetzko is from OU, just like you and I. Kovalchik looks a little bit anxious out there to get his first hit. As that one's outside for a ball, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and he's going to dust him for the third out of the inning. And it's going to remain 0-0. I'm sorry, actually the Beavers have a 1-0 lead going to the bottom half of the second thanks to the sac fly RBI from Gerard Hernandez. And leading off for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in the bottom half of the second will be the DH Jeremy Scott. Following him is the catcher Kyle Figueroa and the center fielder Joe Maroney. So we'll be back shortly with more. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the second inning. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler here in this matchup between the Hoppers and the Beavers. The Hoppers trail currently 1-0 after the Gerard Hernandez sac fly RBI in the last half of the inning. And to lead it off for the Hoppers will be Jeremy Scott, the DH, batting 167 on the season. That one's going to be in there for a strike, 0-1. Kevin Matthews struggled in the first inning, struck out the first two batters, but then walked the next three for the bases to be loaded. As that one's going to be in there for a strike as well. 0-2 now on Scott. That's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball from Kevin Matthews. That one will be a ball, though, as it's outside. 1-2 now.
For all you just tuning in, once again, Kevin Matthews does have a range-shortened no-hitter this season.
Yeah, that came in a game against the Westside Woolly Mammoths a couple Sundays ago. As it's 2-2 now on Jeremy Scott, and he pitched phenomenally. And no doubt the rain helped him with that no-hitter because of the fact that he was going to get pulled after that 5th inning because of his pitch count. As the 2-2 is in, it's going to be high, so the count will go full 3-2. Good job by Scott laying off these pitches.
Yes.
Working his way back to a full count.
Being very patient.
Comes the 3-2 pitch. Way high and inside. So he's going to walk him. I don't think Scott swung at a single pitch in that at-bat.
Now batting the catcher number 4, Kyle Figueroa.
That's Kevin Matthews' 4th walk already in this game.
Yeah, he's got to get his control. Well, I was going to say he's going to get his control under control. As Kyle Figueroa shows bunt. Going to be called a strike. 0-1. Figueroa calls time, takes some signs from the third base coach. As Kennedy comes in to play the bunt, but they're going to throw it on a first instead. Kennedy playing very shallow over there at third base line, just in case of a bunt so he can get to it quicker. Other than that, they're playing Kyle Figueroa straight up. He's showing bunt. He'll miss on the bunt, so it's going to go to 0-2 now on him.
Dan Kennan was ready for that one as he came in.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch. He's going to bunt that one towards the mound. He's going to advance the runner, but he will be out himself. He got his job done, though.
Yes, he did.
Good job of him not to bunt it down the third baseline right to Kennan. Instead, he had to change the direction of it. So now Joe Maroney will step in with a chance to tie the ball game, as Jeremy Scott is now at second base in scoring position. Joe Maroney pinch hit for John Kraft last time the Hoppers played. Struck out once. The first pitch to him is high for a ball, 1-0.
Last time these two teams faced, Joe Maroney pinched hit for Mencken, and he had 2 hits and an RBI.
Yeah, he's used a lot in pinch hit situations. He only has 5 hits on the season, but he has 9 walks and has come around to score 11 times. So he's very good at showcasing patience at the plate. As he swings at that one and makes it 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning. And Joe Maroney has a chance to tie this ball game as the Hoppers currently trail 1-0 to the Beavers. He's going to call time. And there will be a meeting at the mound. A little bit of confusion out here on the baseball field as Joe Maroney had called time, but then there was a balk. But because of the called time, the balk does not count. So there's some confusion for both managers as that one's going to be way inside, a ball, 2-1.
Definitely a little confusion for the umps as well.
Joe Maroney trying to tie this ball game in the bottom of the second, 1-1. The Hoppers have yet to get a hit. Be a good time for their first hit to come. Comes the 2-1. High for a ball, 3-1. We started this ball game, Dan, bright skies, hardly any clouds, and now we have a pretty dark cloud overhead as the lights are on
here. It's
here.
though. There's no rain. It was only this afternoon.
It wasn't forecasted in the most recent update we've checked, but you never know with this Michigan weather.
Yeah.
Comes the 3-1. Be 3-2 now. Count is full. Good job by Kevin Matthews to work back into this. And, I mean, yeah, Dan, we talked about, remember when the rain short no-hitter happened, it was forecasted to stop raining at literally any moment, and it just never did.
And then it went back again.
Well, then it just absolutely downpoured.
And obviously in that game, Kevin Matthews would have been taken out because as a starting pitcher, both starting pitchers on both squads were going to get taken out because you don't want them to be rested that long.
Well, I think Matthews was going to get pulled out nonetheless because he had thrown 100 pitches at that point in the 5th inning. Struck out, I believe, 10 guys. So, I mean, that's just basically bound to happen when you throw that many strikeouts. Here comes the 3-2. Inside, he's going to walk him. So, yet another walk for Kevin Matthews as he's got 5 already on the day.
And definitely a fan favorite here. Ricky Castro steps up.
Ricky Castro struck out swinging his first time up. Castro is a dangerous hitter, a dangerous fielder, and a dangerous runner on the base paths. So the last thing you want is to let him on. As Matthews readies, comes the first pitch to him. Going to be away from Kovalchik, but not far enough for Jeremy Scott to try anything. So it's 1-0 on Ricky Castro. He's going to swing and miss at that one for a strike.
Cut.
Yeah, it was. He wants to drive home some runs here and make this a tie ball game. So 1-1 now with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. He's going to swing and chop this one towards the shortstop. Going to only have to play at first. And he's going to get him by a step, but Ricky Castro advances the runners. So Jeremy Scott advances the third, and Moroni advances the second. And Cam Stewart has a chance to actually give his team a lead here if he can drive one deep enough. Cam Stewart struck out looking his first time up. One of the 2 strikeouts that Kevin Matthews has today. You can expect something here from him as he is a very good hitter coming in today, batting .313. So 2 outs, runners at second and third. Comes the first pitch to him. Going to be in there for a strike, 0-1. 80-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch.
Very great location there.
Yeah, low and inside, just painting the corner there. Comes the 0-1 pitch. Way outside, and that's going to get away from Kovalik, but it's going to come off the backstop, basically right back to him. And so no runs are going to score.
So Matthews' control here has been...
It's been all over the place, to say the least. It might be time for Newell to make another stop at the mound if he could. But he can't, unfortunately. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed by Cam Stewart. Had to go down on his knee to try and hit that one. Not sure what he thought he saw.
Is he going golfing?
It looked like it, as it's going to be 1-2 on him now. And Kevin Matthews 1 strike away from working out of the second jam so far in this ball game. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Way outside, 3-2. Full count now on Cam Stewart. So with bases loaded and 2 strikes with 2... I'm sorry, not bases loaded. Full count now with 2 outs and men on second and third.
That was last inning, Brian.
Yes. And he's going to walk him.
Ooh.
Oh, no, he's going to strike out looking. And Cam Stewart is not agreeing with that one. So Kevin Matthews is going to get out of the inning. So the Hoppers threaten but cannot score. So it's going to remain a 1-0 lead in favor of the Beavers going to the top half of the third. Leading off for the Beavers in the top of the third inning will be the number 9 hitter, Thomas Rulis. Following him will be the number 1 hitter, DeAndre Clark, and third baseman Dan Kennan. So we'll be back shortly with more. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the third inning. Beavers currently lead at 1-0, and Thomas Rulis going to lead it off here for the Beavers. Brian Fisher and Dan Dolber here, and if you're just tuning in, the Beavers got out to a 1-0 lead in the last inning when Gerard Hernandez hit a sac fly RBI to score Lewis Johnson. Lewis Johnson with the only hit of the ball game so far. Here comes the first pitch to Rulis. In there for a strike. 0-1 now. Oh, the 0-1 pitch is lined over the head of Castro at shortstop, and that's going to be in for a base hit. So Thomas Rulis is on with a base hit, and DeAndre Clark will step in. Last time up, DeAndre Clark grounded out to the third baseman, Casey Chenoweth.
But definitely the dangerous hitter here in the Beavers lineup.
By far the most dangerous hitter, I would say, in the USPBL at the moment. As there's a throw down to first. Thomas Rulis slides back in, but safely. Matt Rogers sets. Throws back down to first. But Rulis will arrive back safely yet again. Comes the first pitch to Clark. High, way high, for a ball, 1-0.
DeAndre Clark very consistent at the plate.
Yes, he is. He's a very good batter. He only didn't have a base hit yesterday, though, so he saw his batting average drop from 439 to 404 as the 1-0 pitch is skied to center field, and Maroney's going to back up to about, I'd say, 5 feet in front of the warning track to make that play. Got a lot of contact on that one, but unfortunately hit it to straightaway center field, deepest part of the ballpark. So he will be out, but there's still a runner at first and one out for Dan Kennan now.
The Beavers going with the navy blue jerseys, just like last night.
The sharp jerseys, that's for sure. You can never really go wrong with navy blue, in my opinion. As that one is going to be outside for a ball, 1-0. throw it on a first again. Keeping an eye on Rulis down there. Rulis has a lot of speed out there on the base paths, so I can't say as I blame Rogers. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Ooh, way inside. It's actually going to hit Dan Kennan. And that's definitely not what you want to do, because we've seen a lot in the last few games, well, just in baseball in general, where these freebies come back to hit you or hurt you. And the Beavers are already out up 1-0.
And here comes another dangerous hitter, Nick Wilson.
Yeah, and that base on balls or hit by pitch and correction will drive Thomas Rulis in a scoring position for Nick Wilson.
Select the Miguel Cabrera in the lineup.
Yeah, definitely. Nick Wilson walked his first time up, but that's because Matt Rogers wasn't giving him anything to hit. Probably intentionally so. Here comes the first pitch to him. Way outside, and that's going to get away from Figueroa, and that's going to allow Thomas Rulis to advance to third base. Dan Kennan stays put at first, though. And a wild pitch now puts a runner at third base with 1 out. So runners at the corners. Early in the ball game, still just the top of the third inning, but the Beavers do have a 1-0 lead thanks to the sac fly RBI from Gerard Hernandez back in the second inning.
So both pitchers noticing some control problems here.
Yeah, both pitchers have struggled a little bit here with their control. Kevin Matthews obviously the one struggling a bit more. He already has 5 walks on the game in just 2 innings pitched, as that one is skied way high in the air and a foul territory down by first base. And Gomez is going to make the catch. So it's going to be 2 outs now with the runners at the corners. But they're not out of the woods yet as Nick Buckner steps in. He grounded out his last time up. Rogers still has 1 more man to go before he gets himself out of this little jam.
Buckner of .277 batting average, has 13 hits and 6 RBIs.
Yeah, Buckner's a dangerous hitter in his own right, so you can't get comfortable even though you got Nick Wilson out. The first pitch to Buckner is going to be in for a ball, 1-0. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's going to be a high for a ball again, 2-0 now. Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs here. Here comes the 2-0. Way inside. They're going to throw it on a first, but Dan Kennan will get back in time. It'll be inside, though, for a ball. 3-0 now on Nick Buckner, and Matt Rogers is 1 ball away from loading the bases. Comes the 3-0 pitch. It's going to be in there for a strike. 3-1 now. Not much of a breeze to speak of as the flag is just hanging still. So you can't really depend on the wind to help you out today. The 3-1 pitch is going to be outside for a ball, and that's going to walk the bases loaded. So Lewis Johnson will step in. He hit for a base hit his last time up and eventually stole second. He came around to score as the lone run today. Here comes the first pitch to Johnson. He's going to line that one down the first base line. Going to be foul, though, so it'll go to 0-1 on him. So bases are loaded here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Top of the third inning, correction. Beavers with an opportunity to extend their lead. Comes the 0-1 pitch. Outside for a ball, 1-1 now. Comes the 1-1 pitch. Inside for a ball, 2-1.
If you're Rogers, you just need to calm down and just focus on the batter. Don't worry about any other runners.
He's only 1 out away from getting out of this jam, and it's been like that for both sides. Kevin Matthews getting into 2 jams early. His bases loaded and man at the corners in the first 2 innings. So that one's going to be skied way high in the air. Gomez is going to back up, and right by first base is going to make the catch. And Rogers is going to get out of that bases loaded jam, but the Beavers still lead it 1-0 here, going to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. And due up for the Hoppers in the bottom half of the 3rd will be the left fielder Chris Power, following him the right fielder John Mencken, and the 3rd baseman Casey Chenoweth. So we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 3rd inning, where the Hoppers currently trail 1-0. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler with you here, as Chris Power is about to lead it off as we wait for the last few people to filter off the field. Had another photo op between innings. I think that's the 3rd inning in a row we've had a photo op.
I mean, there's a lot of great organizations that come out to the ballpark each and every single night.
As the first pitch, Chris Powers in, outside for a ball, 1-0. The Hoppers ended the last inning not how they wanted to, as they had runners in the corners and could not convert again. So far, 5 men left on base here in the early goings, as that one's going to be in for a ball. Cam Stewart was not pleased with the end result of the last at-bat. No. He struck out looking for the 2nd time today, but he had a legitimate beef, in my opinion, with the umpire, as that one looked like it was outside for a ball. And it's going to be 2-1 on Chris Powers. He takes for a strike.
Yeah, Matthews, though, has been struggling a little bit with his control.
Yeah, his control's been a little bit out there today. And that one's going to be way inside, as Chris Powers going to have to dodge out of the way. 3-1 now. He's already walked 5 batters today, struck out 3. And that's pretty much, usually it's the other way around. He'll have 5 strikeouts and 3 walks, but he's known to walk a lot of guys too, as that's in for a strike. Full count now, 3-2. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's going to be outside. He's going to walk him. 6th walk of the day for Kevin Matthews. And just 2 innings pitched. So John Mankin will step in now. He walked his first time up. Chris Power, meanwhile, still hasn't registered an official at-bat because he's walked in both of his plate appearances. As the first pitch he sees is going to be way inside for a ball. And even the Hoppers batters are starting to wonder when he's going to get his control back because they're getting tired of having to dodge out of the way of this. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. 1-2. Feels like that's the first swing we've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, Hopper's still without a hit. Matthews either walked the batter, but has not given up on a hit yet.
Oh, they're going to throw down a first, but Chris Power just kind of jogs back in. 1-1 count on John Mankin with no outs and a runner at first base. Hoppers currently trail 1-0 after the Gerard Hernandez sac fly RBI. The 1-1 pitch is swung on and fouled into the netting behind home plate, so 1-2 on him. John Mankin will step back into the batter's box now as he still awaits his 1-2 pitch. Chris Power with a decent lead over there. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's going to be low for a ball, 2-2. Nick Wilson's covering the bag at first in case of a throw over. Got a couple already. 2-2 pitches fouled into the netting. So it will remain even at 2 apiece.
As the hill and right field begin to get packed again.
Yeah, more and more people keep filtering in as the game progresses. And the hill seems to be full almost every game that it's nice and sunny out. The game started sunny, but now it's heavily overcast. Looking kind of threatening, actually. As they're going to get... No, they're not, as Chris Power is going to get the second on a steal and a poor throw down a second, almost advanced him all the way to the third.
And Nick Wilson has to be frustrated with that throw.
Yeah, it was a good awareness by Kevin Matthews to throw down a first when Chris Power started to steal. They would have had a chance at him down at second base if Nick Wilson's throw hadn't been wide. But nonetheless, there's no outs, 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second. Hoppers have another opportunity to tie it, 3rd inning in a row. As that ball's outside, count is full, 3-2.
Seen quite a few full counts already.
Yeah, Kevin Matthews has not been his same old, it seems, here in the early goings of this game. Can't talk today, apparently.
It's okay.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Outside for a ball, the 7th walk for Kevin Matthews in this ball game. And if I was Essien at this point, I'd be a little bit concerned.
Now, Chenoweth was a walking victim as well last time up.
There's going to be a meeting at the mound now as Newell's going to walk out. And I still don't see any action over there in the Beavers bullpen, so they're clearly going to stick with... Oh, now there's going to be a pitcher walking over to the bullpen. Number 20 for the Beavers. And that'll be Alex Kinch.
Yep. We've seen Kinch quite a few times already this season.
So Kinch will begin warming up in the bullpen.
He has 10 innings pitch so far. But the walks seem to be the problem for Matthews.
Yeah, 7 walks in 2 just 2 innings pitched is absolutely unacceptable. I mean, you've walked more than you've gotten out so far in this game. Coming into today's game, Dan, he had 9 walks, and he's already almost doubled his season stat in that regard. The first pitch to Casey Chenoweth is going to be swung on, missed for a strike, 0-1.
One word to describe that, yikes.
Yeah, indeed. And there's going to be runners at first and second now. Game is 1-0 in favor of the Beavers, but that could change here. Feels like I've said that the last 2 innings, though, as the Diamond Hoppers have left 5 men on base to start the game. Comes the 0-1 pitch. High for a ball, 1-1. Alex Kinch warming up in the bullpen. He's played 6 with 10 innings pitched. Got a 3.48 ERA and a 1.35 WHIP, so he's a solid reliever. He has a low walk rate and a high strikeout rate, as that one's in for a strike, 1-2 on Chenoweth. But he gives up lots of hits, so that's one thing that he's going to want to cut down on if he wants to be a more effective reliever.
You got that right, Brian.
As we wait on the 1-2, comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and Casey Chenoweth's going to go down on strikes. The 4th strikeout for Matthews on the evening. Another interesting fact for Kevin Matthews is he's only induced 1 flyout today. The rest have been strikeouts, and there were 2 groundouts. Esteban Gomez will step in now, and he was the lone flyout today. He popped up to the shortstop.
That was Matthews' 31 strikeout of the season.
Here comes the first pitch to Gomez. He's going to sky that one into foul territory. 0-1 on him. Gomez came into today's ball game batting just .289. Has 2 home runs, 12 RBIs across his 13 hits. So when he comes on and with runners in scoring position, he tends to drive them home. Let's see if he can do that here. That one's going to be in for a strike. 0-2 now on Gomez with 1 out. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's going to be fouled. We remain in 0-2. And Chris Powers playing a little bit of head games out there at second base on Kevin Matthews, constantly pretending like he's about to go. And that's got to be weighing on Matthews' mind as well, as he's probably stressing about the runner at second.
I know my stress level would be so high if I was on the mound.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch. He's going to drive that one to left field, but pretty much right at Gerard Hernandez is going to make the catch. The runners will retreat to second and first. So Kevin Matthews has a chance to get out of another jam with Jeremy Scott walking up. He walked his first time up. And despite the high walk rate, Kevin Matthews has yet to give up a hit, though. So 7 walks and no hits. Compared to
weird stats there.
Yeah. The first pitch to Scott's going to be high for a ball, 1-0. Two men on, 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. A 1-0 lead in favor of the Beavers. Jeremy Scott looks to tie this ball game, though. Walked his first time up. Here's the 1-0. in there for a strike, 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That'll be in there for a strike, 1-2 now, and Kevin Matthews just one strike away from getting out of yet another jam. Kevin Matthews sets. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Kevin Matthews will dust off Jeremy Scott to get out of another issue.
By Jeremy Scott.
So after 3 innings of play, it'll still be a 1-0 lead for the Beavers. The Hoppers have yet to get a hit despite having left now 7 men on base. So leading off for the Beavers in the top half of the 4th inning will be DJ Martinez. Following him will be Gerard Hernandez, the man with the lone RBI in the ballgame, and Conrad Kovalchik. So we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the 4th inning where DJ Martinez is going to lead it off. The Hoppers have left 7 men on base, being walked for all 7 of those men.
And the rain is starting to fall here at the ballpark.
Not a single hit, and it has slightly, as that pitch is going to be in for a ball. 1-0 now on Martinez. Martinez, he, get the right sheet in front of me here, flew out to the right field last time as he fouls that one into the netting. So 1-1 on him. As it starts to come down harder, as there's just a mass exodus of fans from the stands. 2-1 on DJ Martinez.
We did say the crowd looked weird, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, and it has. They look threatening, and they have proven to follow through on that threat. As that ball's gonna be way inside, 3-1 now. Martinez had to spin out of the way of that one, and the rain is just coming down now. Absolute downpour. Comes the 3-1 pitch, swung on and missed. And the ump's going to have to, and that'll be it. So we're going to go to a rain delay here in the top of the 4th inning. So we'll check the weather forecast and get back to you shortly and see how long this rain is going to last. So please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. And we have had a lightning strike within the area, so it'll be a mandatory 30-minute delay.
Oh no, not again.
Yeah, we saw this a couple of weekends ago. I mean, rain's bound to happen. It's just weather. So hopefully, there's another lightning strike. So restart that timer. So it'll be 30 minutes from right now.
You know, it turned out to be a beautiful evening, and then the crowd started coming in. It's weird because throughout the day, earlier in the day, I was looking at the weather tracker, and that was when it was supposed to rain.
Yeah, it started off just absolutely gorgeous today, and it was looking to be just a beautiful day overall.
Yeah.
And then the clouds just out of nowhere seemed to appear, and now we have a thunderstorm as we've seen lightning a couple times. So it'll be a mandatory 30-minute delay at the least.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can at least get 5.5 in and get this game officially in the books.
And hopefully fans will get treated to fireworks.
Actually, Dan, this is the second time that Kevin Matthews has pitched and has not given up a hit in
That
which
is
we have a
true.
rain delay. Now,
That is
last
true.
time they managed to go 5 innings. Unfortunately, he'll probably not go that many this time because he had a lot of walks, 7 walks.
Oh, yeah,
but
that's
not
a
giving up
lot.
a hit. It's just an obscure stat.
That is going to be weird to say the least. If this game got called, that'd be
Yes.
weird. You had a no-hitter with 7 walks.
That I can't.
I
Lord
can't
above,
imagine
he's
that.
only, he
I
only
couldn't
had,
even imagine
He
that.
had 9 walks coming into today's game.
Mhm.
So he's got it. He's such a good pitcher, but today's
Yes.
control just seems to be off.
I mean, his
don't know.
strikeouts are up there too. I mean, not just,
Well, he's got 4 strikeouts.
and that's like 30. That's just 30.
Yeah, but I mean, 7 walks. It kind of.
That's got to be out of control.
So
You had Kinch warming up in the bullpen.
yeah,
for
you
the
had Alex
Beavers.
Kinch, and there's another lightning strike,
Oh,
so another
jeez.
30 minutes. And well, we'll be just we'll be back every once in a while to keep you updated on what's going on. But as of right now, it's a mandatory 30-minute delay starting just a few seconds ago because of another lightning strike. So we will be back shortly, and
Hopefully there will be baseball.
hopefully there'll be good news. So stay tuned, please, and we'll keep you updated. Welcome back, everyone. And the tarp is going to officially come on the field now as the rain is still coming down. The thunderstorm seems to be right over top of us as we've seen a lot of close lightning strikes.
Yes, we have.
So it's going to be tough to get the rest of this game out. We're going to hope that the rain can stop and the thunder and lightning will stop.
And you know, we have great grounds crew here at Jimmy John's Field,
There's another
and
lightning strike.
they do a great job at getting this field back to the way
Wow.
it should be.
Now that was a close thunder.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not looking too good right now, Dan.
Fans are still sticking it out. You got fans underneath the Chevrolet.
It's only been about 10
Kennedy.
minutes. I say if they leave after 10 minutes, they're not very loyal. No, I'm just
No.
kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. Let's see if this rain will stop, and then hopefully the lightning will stop. It wasn't supposed to last very long.
No.
I already see the sun trying to peek through on the left side in left field. It's brightened up a little bit, and the thunderstorm's not supposed to last that long, but the tarp is coming on the field now as there's another lightning strike.
It's getting close to us here in the booth.
Yeah. So we're just going to try and keep you updated as best we can on the situation. As you can see on the live stream, the tarp is going on the field right now. And, well, we'll keep you updated as things change further. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. The rain has stopped now, and the tarp is coming off the field. And the game is set to resume at 9:05 p.m.
And we still will have fireworks this evening.
We will have fireworks. As long as the rain holds off for the rest of the evening, we'll play 2 or 3 more innings, then have the fireworks and kids run the bases between innings, and then continue to finish the game from there on out. Due to Utica City ordinance, we're not allowed to have the fireworks past a certain time, so that's why it will come in the middle of the game. But the game will be played and is set to resume at 9:05 p.m. So I appreciate everyone for staying tuned and continuing to listen. And we will continue to give you further updates as the game gets closer and closer to resuming here at Jimmy John's Field. So thank you and stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, and I am happy to say that we are going to get this game underway.
I'm happy too.
Back from rain delay, but because of the extended rain delay, we will have a pitching change for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Jordan Pinnell is in, and Matt Rogers is out. Matt Rogers throws 3 strong innings. He got into a little bit of trouble, but got out of it. He went with only 2 hits against him and 1 earned run, and left 4 guys on base. So he did a good job of getting out of issues. Only gave up 1 earned run. Unfortunately, he's in line for the loss right now if this game continues. But Jordan Pinnell is going to take the mound now, Dan, and he is pitching extraordinary here in this season.
He's been outstanding coming in relief. The last time these two teams faced, which was last Friday night, he pitched 3 innings and didn't allow a hit or any walks and had 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's definitely a good man you want to come in relief, and I'm assuming at this point a long relief appearance because we still have. And we're going to play at least 2 more innings in this game to try and get the game in the books officially, because you need 5 runs or 5 innings, Dan, to have it count as a full game.
Yep. And you know, it's a brand new pitcher for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. We might see the same thing with the Beavers as well. So we're just going to have to wait and see on.
There were currently no outs in the top of the 4th when we went to a rain delay almost like an hour ago now.
Yeah, it's been a long time, it feels like.
A little over an hour. And D.G. Martinez had a 3-2 count on him at the time. There was no outs, though. So it's going to be just the top of the 4th inning. D.J. Martinez is going to step back in after Pinnell's done warming up. They're still redoing the baselines. So we will come back shortly when the game is officially about to start, and we'll let you know once it does. So stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. Brian Fisher, Dan Dobler with you here to the top of the 4th inning after that rain delay.
Very long rain delay.
DJ Martinez will step in, finishing at his bat. He's at 3-2 in the count. A new pitcher against him, though, Jordan Pennell. And he's going to ground that one foul, so it's going to remain 3-2. We're going to play 2 more innings of game to make it 5 innings played, so we can count it in the books as a complete game. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. He's going to fly that one foul. It's going to be in the stands as the crowd's going to reach up for it. It'll remain 3-2 now on him.
Pennell has been very dominant this season, coming in relief for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers.
He's done a fantastic job, that's for sure, with the 1.38 ERA on the season. And about 10 innings pitched. As that one's going to be chopped fair down the first base line. It's going to be a race. Oh, and a fantastic play by Pennell. He throws it behind his back down to the first baseman Gomez to get him. And acrobatic start of the 4th inning here.
Can you consider that Sports Center top 10?
If we had a good angle, maybe, possibly.
Wow, what a beautiful play.
So Gerard Hernandez will step in with 1 out and no men on here in the top of the 4th inning. Here comes the first pitch to him. It's going to be inside for a ball. 1-0 now on Gerard Hernandez. Gerard Hernandez has the lone RBI in the ball game. That came back in the 2nd inning. That might not sound like that long ago, but was all the way back at like 7:30 p.m. due to this rain delay. And the 1-0 he swings, gets a lot on that one, and drives that one. It's going to be foul, but he got a lot on that one. If he it wouldn't have been so early on that, that would have been gone for sure.
And it's definitely cooled off just a bit here at the ballpark.
Well, the rain, I assume, had something to do with that, plus the sun going down, so it's dropped from about 79 when we started to low 70s. It's 1-1 on Gerard Hernandez as he waits on the pitch. It's going to be in there for a strike, 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Appeal down to first, but he says he did not go, so it's going to be 2-2. Gerard Hernandez steps back in. Comes the 2-2 pitch. Swung right up the middle, and that's going to be through for a base hit. And with 1 man out, Gerard Hernandez reaches with a base hit. So Konrad Kovalchik will come back up to bat, striking out, swinging his first time up. Looking for his first hit in the USPBL still.
Out of Warren, Michigan, which is right down the street here.
About a 15-minute drive. Man down at first now after the Gerard Hernandez base hit with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. It's going to be outside for a ball, 1-0. Gerard Hernandez now with a very big lead out there as Kovalchik swings and misses at that one. 1-1 on him. I assume the gun was probably a little off on that one as it read 129 miles an hour. I don't think the pitch was quite that fast.
No.
As he grounds that one to the second baseman. He bobbles it. Oh, nice bare hand grab to throw down to first and get him. Might have been a double play if he hadn't bobbled it, but nice play off the bounce to get it. So 2 outs now, the runner in scoring position after Gerard Hernandez advances. Thomas Rules with a chance to extend the Beavers' lead here in the top of the 4th inning. Comes the first pitch to Rulis. And it's going to be a ball, 1-0. Here was the 1-0 pitch. It's going to be down low, 2-0 now on Thomas Rulis.
Hernandez playing little mind games there with Purnell. We're at second.
He doesn't get a very large primary lead. Here comes the 2-0. That'll be in there for a strike, right down the middle. 2-1. His first time up, Rulis hit for a single. Got all the way over to third before the inning finally ended. He drives that one fouled on the third base line. Lined it right into the Hoppers' dugout. Count is even at 2 apiece with 2 outs here and a man at second. 2s all around here.
It's great to see all the fans who stuck around here at Jimmy John's Field.
Yeah, honestly, I'm impressed by how many fans did stick around. The grandstand is about, I'd say, 80% as what it was before the rain delay. Not many people left, and it was about an hour delay as that one's lined down, fouled on the third base line. So it'll remain at 2-2. As Rulis waits on the 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Outside. Full count now, 3-2. Three-two count with 2 outs. Runner at second. 3-2 pitches in. He's going to nub that one up to the second baseman. Easy throw down to first to get him, and the Beavers threaten but don't score, so we're going to go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Beavers still lead it 1-0. Due up for the Hoppers in the bottom of the 4th inning will be Cal Figueroa. Following him is the center fielder Joe Maroney and shortstop Ricky Castro. So we'll be back shortly with the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the fourth inning after a heartwarming moment as there was a marriage proposal in between innings.
Congratulations to the couple.
She said yes, so that's always good. Alex Kinch on the mound now for the Beavers is the first pitch to Cal Figueroa is sent right back to Kinch. So one pitch, one out here in the bottom of the fourth. Alex Kinch comes in relief of Kevin Matthews. He started warming up before the rain delay, but is finally getting on the mound. So now Jerome Maroney will step in with one out here in the bottom of the fourth. His team trailing 1-0. Gerard Hernandez had the sac fly RBI back in the second inning that gave the Beavers the lead. Last time up, Maroney reached on a walk. It's going to be in there for a ball, 1-0. Kevin Matthews managed to go 3 innings. Gave up no hits, Dan.
Had 7 walks, though.
7 walks and what? 4 or 5 strikeouts. 5, officially. So, just strange numbers.
It is.
He didn't give up a hit, but walked 7 and struck out 5. Mm-hmm. And just 7 walks is a ridiculously high number. His control is all over the place as that one's in for a ball. 2-1 on Joe Maroney. And so Alex Kinch will step in and take over. And the Hoppers have to be so frustrated, especially now with this rain delay, because they've left a grand total of 7 guys on base so far throughout this ball game. As he swings and misses on that one, 2-2.
Yeah, minus those walks, I think Matthews did a great job.
I would be hard-pressed to say he did a great job after today's outing because of the fact that he had 7 walks. I mean, that just...
Okay job then.
That one's flied straight up in the air. And Kennan's going to come halfway down the third baseline to catch that one. And 2 up, 2 down quickly for Alex Kinch here in the bottom of the fourth. So Ricky Castro will step in. He struck out and grounded out in his first 2 plate appearances today. Looking to maybe be a spark for the Hoppers here.
Definitely a fan favorite here at the ballpark.
We're only going to play 5 innings today because of the long rain delay. As that one's outside for a ball, 1-0.
And what a great job by the grounds crew getting that tarp on, getting it off during the rain delay. And some of the players did, including Ricky Castro.
Yeah, Ricky Castro was one of the guys who went out there and helped out because with the tarp so wet and the ground so wet, it was very difficult for them to move the tarp. Mm-hmm. And 3 or 4 of the players from the Hoppers came out and helped. Cam Stewart was one of them. And Wynn from the Beavers came out and helped. So it was nice to see that the players come and help. I mean, obviously they wanted to preserve the field of play so they could continue to play. And that one's going to be in for a strike. 2-1 now on Ricky Castro. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. He's going to ground that one through for a base hit on the right side. It's going to be a 2-out base hit for Ricky Castro, his first of the ball game. So now Cam Stewart will come up with 2 outs. And Cam Stewart looks to advance the runner from first base with 2 outs. Maybe keep the line moving, give his team an opportunity to tie the ball game. Here comes the first pitch to Stewart in the at-bat. Outside for a ball, 1-0. Ricky Castro's down there at first base. You can expect him to possibly steal.
And it looks like it's going to be a
balk.
balk?
No. I'm
confused.
Yeah.
We're all confused.
Yeah, the umpire came out and looked like he signaled for a balk, and then the second base umpire signaled him go back to first, so.
Castro's like, you got to be kidding me.
Castro looked pretty ready to take his base, but he's back at first again. So here comes the 1-0 pitch after that momentary confusion. Down low in the dirt for a ball, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch is going to get through the legs of Kovalchik, and Castro's going to advance to second on the play. So now there's going to be a runner in scoring position and a good chance here in the bottom of the fourth for Cam Stewart to tie the ball game, because a base hit could score Castro. He's got a lot of speed out there in the base paths. So it's 3-0 on Cam Stewart with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. His team trailing 1-0. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 3-1 now. The 3-1 pitch, swung on and grounded over to the shortstop, Martinez. He's going to throw it on a first, get him. So the Hoppers threaten but don't score for about the 4th inning in a row. And it's still a 1-0 lead in favor of the Beavers. So we'll come back to the top of the 5th inning, and the leading off for the Beavers will be Denandre Clark. Following him will be Dan Kennan and Nick Wilson. So we'll be back shortly for the 5th inning. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the 5th inning. We're due up for the the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers is Denandre Clark. Denandre Clark is 0 for 2 today, grounded out and flew out in his first 2 plate appearances. It's 1-0 on the count on him now as Jordan Pennell retakes the mound. And it is 2-0 now on Denandre Clark. Last time up, Denandre Clark flew out to Maroney at center field, and he got a lot on that one, but just hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark, unfortunately, as he grounds that one up the middle, but not very hard, so Stewart will come across and get it. Denandre Clark almost ran it out, but a quick throw from Stewart gets him. So it's going to be 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 5th inning. Alex Kinch doing a fantastic job in relief in the last half inning, facing only 4 batters, and managing to get out of a sticky situation where the Hoppers had a runner in scoring position. Swing and a miss by Dan Kennan is going to be called for a strike, 0-1. Defense playing him straight up. Here's the 0-1. Low and away, 1-1. Comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Big rip there by Dan Kennan.
Sure was.
So it's 1-2 on him. That was an 82-mile-an-hour pitch, off speed.
Definitely got him fooled there.
Dan Kennan reached at base last time up. He got hit by a pitch. As the 1-2 is low in the dirt. 2-2 now. Count is even. Comes the 2-2. Outside. Full count now. 3-2 on Dan Kennan. The 3-2 pitch is outside, so he's going to walk Kennan. So Nick Wilson will step in with 1 out and 1 man on. And Nick Wilson is definitely not a batter that you want to let on base with his type of power.
Yes.
He can really do some damage, and even if with a runner at first, he can hit that ball deep.
Like I said way earlier in this game, kind of like a Miguel Cabrera in that spot.
Batting .353 coming into the game. He is 0 for 1 today, walked in his first at-bat, and then popped out to the first baseman. And the first pitch to him is going to be a ball 1-0. It's going to be a ball 2-0. He threatened to throw it on a first, but Kennan retreated. .2-0 pitch. In there for a strike. 2-1 now. Kennan not getting that big of a lead over there, but nonetheless Gomez is playing close to the base. Well, on base, in fact, in case of a throw over. Two and two now on Nick Wilson. 1 out with a man on. Beavers still lead the game 1-0. Swing and a miss. He's going to strike out Wilson. His first strikeout in this relief appearance for Jordan Pennell. So Buckner is going to step in now. He is 0 for 1. He walked his last time up. And Buckner is going to try and score Kennan from first base.
As a pitcher, you always want to get that big hitter in the lineup, and Pennell just did there.
Yeah, Nick Wilson's a threat at the plate, and he was able to dust him off with a strikeout, so that's got to be a good feeling for him. And it's going to be outside, but you can't get too comfortable because Buckner's no slouch either.
No.
Came into today's game batting .277 with 13 hits. As that one's in for a ball, 2-0 now. Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs here with a man on first and a 1-0 lead in favor of the Beavers. That'll be in there for a strike. 2-1 now on Buckner. Comes the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and foul tipped into the netting behind home plate. So count will be even at 2 apiece.
Barely getting a piece of that one.
Yeah, I didn't even hear the contact from the bat. I just know I hit it because of the redirection. As Buckner waits on the 2-2, here it comes. It's going to be in there for a strike. He's going to be struck out looking. So Dan Kennan gets on with a walk, but nothing else gets done. So it's going to go to the bottom of the 5th for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, where due up for them will be Chris Power. Following that will be John Macon and Casey Chenoweth. Let's see if they can tie this ball game. So we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the fifth inning. And Chris Power is going to be up to bat. And what I believe is the last call for the Hoppers is I think we're only going to play 5 innings because of the restrictions that Utica has in place, the city ordinance. So it's going to be a ball to him.
And like you said, that's the full game right there.
Alex Kinch has stepped in.
As long as you get 5 innings in.
The 1-0 pitch is in for a strike, 1-1 now. Because I know for a fact the fireworks and kids on the bases will be after this inning.
You know, the fans came out here to enjoy a ball game. They also want to enjoy the fireworks as well.
And they still will. As that one's in for a ball, 2-1 now. Comes the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 2-2 now. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Checked his swing on that. Appealed down. No, he struck him out. So struck out swinging for Chris Power. Alex Kinch coming out of the bullpen doing good work here. So John Macon will step in. One of the last few hopes for the Diamond Hoppers.
You almost said Happers there.
I almost said Diamond Hoppers. As that one's in for a strike, 0-1. 88-mile-an-hour fastball.
Feels like it's been a long night.
It has been a very long night. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and up the middle, and that'll get through for a base hit. And John Macon is on base with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th.
And the Hoppers' second hit of the ball game.
Yeah, their first hit just coming last inning. Casey Chenoweth is going to step in now. He's 0 for 1. He struck out and walked in today's ball game. Double play could end the ball game here. As Chenoweth stands in, swings and misses at the first pitch. He sees a big swing. And that's going to be an 0-1 count now on him. Wilson's holding John Macon over there at first base. Macon not really getting much of a lead off. Just 2 or 3 steps off the bag. Swung on, missed again, and another big rip. Casey Chenoweth was trying to knock one out of the park here. And it's 0-2 quickly on him now.
Well, since the rain's short in this game, it feels like the 9th.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
Right about now, we would be in the 9th inning if this was a full game. Usually between 9 and 10 is the late stages of the game, as that one's in the dirt for a ball, 1-2. It was beautiful skies when we started the game, and then it quickly proceeded to be thunderstorms, and now it's, from what I can tell, it's clear skies again. So,
Mother Nature plays its role.
Michigan weather plays its role, it seems. There was a cell that formed right above us as the 0-2 pitch, a 1-2 pitch is driven to deep left field, and that ball is gone, a home run. And it's going to be a 2-1 lead for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and I'm not sure if that's going to be it for the ball game. I'm not sure if they're planning on playing any more innings. But a 2-1 lead for the Diamond Hoppers in the bottom of the 5th. That's it. That is a walk-off home run.
Wow.
We just got the game is over call.
That is crazy.
So a walk-off 2-run home run for Casey Chenoweth seals the deal here in the bottom of the 5th.
And if you're the manager of the Beavers, you have to be frustrated because of this rain delay.
Okay, but apparently it's not the end of the game. We got a message over the PA saying that's the ball game, but the Beavers are still on the field, and Esteban Gomez is still sitting there in the batter's box.
Wow.
as the Hoppers return to their seats in the dugout.
Never mind.
Not our call. The PA said that was a.
I thought it was. I mean, we said we're only playing 5 innings.
And the PA said it was game over, but the game's continuing now.
That's
As that
crazy.
ball is outside to Esteban Gomez, 1-0.
Maybe they're going to give the Beavers one more chance.
I'm not sure anymore,
Be
man. This
fair.
game's been kind of odd.
It is odd. We marked that on my score sheet, not a walk-off. It's now just a 2-run home run.
And it's going to be a ball, 2-0 now. I'm assuming we'll get the final call between innings because I'm not really sure what's happening now.
But what a change of game here.
That one got out in a hurry,
It
too,
did.
as that's going to be fouled off for a strike. 2-1 on Esteban Gomez.
I mean,
Casey Chenoweth just got all of that one, Dan.
yes, it looks beautiful.
And just a beautiful arc, and you heard it off the sound of his bat, and you knew that one was gone. As that one's going to be grounded over to the third baseman. Throw down to first is going to get him. Oh, no, he's going to drop the ball, so he's going to be safe at first. He tried to tag him, a spin tag, and dropped the ball. So he will reach first on what I can only assume will be an error. I'll wait till the official score. So Jeremy Scott will step in
Still
with 1 out and 1 man on here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
looks like it might be a hit.
Well, they haven't fielded it either one way or the other yet. They're probably discussing it. Still unsure whether or not this game's continuing after the 5th, as that one's flown it foul.
This has
0-1.
been a very long and odd game.
The 0-1 pitch is going to be fouled. 0-2 now. Comes the 0-2. Swung and driven deep to right field. And Buckner's going to retreat on the warning track. He's going to have to come back in and failed dive attempt. He's going to allow the runners to advance to second and third, maybe more. They're going to hold him at third, and an error by Buckner, possibly because of the wet ground out
Yeah.
there.
Either that, he might have been way too far back. I don't know. It was close. Obviously, the rain with the grass, you might be right. It still might be really damp out there.
So that's going to...
Looks like that's going to be it for Kinch.
Yeah, Kinch is going to be done, so we're going to have a pitching change here. He goes 1 1/3 innings pitched. Gave up four hits. 2 earned runs. No walks. 1 strikeout. And a home run, which came from Casey Chenoweth.
This has been a very odd game, Brian.
It has indeed. We thought that home run from Casey Chenoweth was going to be it, and even the PA guy did, but the game continues on for some reason. So we will see after this inning what is going on.
And it looks like for the Beavers on the mound will be Brian Heldman, the sidearm pitcher for the Beavers.
Paying attention, please. Now pitching for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers from San Diego, California, number 22, Brian Heldman.
Heldman with 1 win, 1 loss, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 7 runs, 4 walks, and 8 strikeouts with a 10.50 ERA. So he's only played 6 innings, so it's a small sample size, but 7 hits against him and 7 runs is not very good.
Not good at all.
So it'll be up to him to end this inning now. He's still 2 outs away with runners at second and third. The Hoppers currently lead it 2-1. Thanks to the 2-run home run from Casey Chenoweth. So Kyle Figueroa will step in. He grounded out both his first 2 attempts, both right back to the pitcher. Comes the first pitch, a bunt, and they're going to try and score him at home. They'll be successful. It's going to be a 3-1 lead now as Kyle Figueroa lays down a sacrifice bunt. It's going to be a 3-1 lead as Joe Moroni steps in with a runner at third base. And 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So that'll change Alex Kinch's earned runs to 3. Actually, you know what, Dan? That's the 3rd time in a row that Kyle Figueroa has grounded out to the pitcher. Now, technically, that was a sacrifice bunt for an RBI, but it's just kind of funny to look at. So Joe Moroni steps in as he is 0 for 1 today. He's got a walk in his first plate appearance.
Well, I guarantee you, Brian, when we take a look at our score sheets at the very end or next day, it's going to be looking weird anyways.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident as that one's going to be grounded over to the third base through, and they'll score yet another run. And that'll be 4 earned runs against Alex Kinch in relief. So it's a 4-1 lead now in favor of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. So Ricky Castro will be up now. Base hit in his last inning in the 4th. A swing and a miss from Castro there, a big rip. 0-1 on him. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. They're going to try and steal, but the ball's hit foul, so Moroni will have to retreat back to first base, and the Diamond Hoppers love to use their speed. Oh-2 count. Here's the pitch. Swung and grounded over to the second baseman. Rules will make the play, and that'll be it for the inning. But the Hoppers scored 4 runs to take a 4-1 lead in the going into the top of the 6th. We'll do the fireworks and the kids on the bases now, and we'll get back to you on whether or not there's going to be more game to be played, because we're not sure either. So we'll be back shortly with more. The rest of this game is actually going to be resumed at a later date. We just got word, so that'll be it for now. So the Hoppers will go into this. I don't even know what to call this, Dan. Technically, they're winning 4-1 right now.
Yeah, you know, because of the rain, and obviously the manager of the Beavers would have been really mad that, of course, that 2-run home run by Casey Chenoweth to end it. I mean, we thought it was a walk-off because we were told we were only going to play 5 innings. But obviously you're at Jimmy John's Field during the week. Sometimes the teams play closed games.
Well, we're not sure that's what it's going to be, though. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good speculation.
But speculation, we're thinking they'll probably make up that game.
And a closed date.
Who knows? When we see these two teams face each other again, there might be a doubleheader. You never know.
Possibly, where they'll play the last 5 innings or 4
Yeah.
innings of play. But as of right now, the Hoppers will go into by the end of the night. The Hoppers are leading 4-1. I don't know what to call this. Right now.
Neither. I mean, it's crazy.
The game will be resumed on another date. And I guess Dan, let's go with your pitchers and players of the game in this
Okay,
temporarily paused game.
For the pitcher, I want to go with Kevin Matthews. I think he did a really great job tonight. Well, not really great job. Decent, okay job.
I mean, he
obviously
didn't give up
the
a
7.
hit.
Yeah, he did give up a hit.
Depends what stat you're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, he did give up a lot of 7 walks, but then again, I mean, I don't know who. I think, I'm gonna have to go maybe with Purnell then, from the Eastside Diamond Hoppers coming in.
Yeah, Purnell is about the only one who really.
I mean, he's been outstanding when he comes in relief, and I
Yeah,
have
he
him
did a
only
great
down.
job
He only
today.
gave up 1 hit.
I mean, it's good. It's tough to say. I have to agree. Purnell's going to be your pitcher of the game
Mm-hmm.
for today. I think player of the game is pretty obvious. Casey Chenoweth with that 2-run bomb to give his team the lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what's going on tomorrow, Dan? It's been a bizarre game.
I mean, who do you want to give the player of the game? I mean, obviously we can't really say because it's
I would
not
say Casey Chenoweth as of right
with
now.
the 2 home run. Yeah, obviously. But I mean, it's been a very odd game, and we thank you for tuning in. I didn't think we were gonna get this game in.
I
to be
didn't
honest,
either, honestly.
Because usually when we had the rain shortened game last time, they just called it because we were already past 5 innings.
But we weren't this time, so they had to
No,
play the 5
they
innings.
had
but
to play the 5
They're going to
innings.
continue the game at a later date. So
Yeah.
tomorrow, the Westside Woolly Mammoths are going to take on the Utica Unicorns.
Yeah.
And the Mammoths got absolutely romped yesterday,
Yes, they
9-4 by
Yeah.
the
Ugh. Hopefully they can turn
Beavers.
things around.
So yeah, they're going to be looking to bounce back, and the Unicorns are performing very well this season.
Yes,
and I
they
believe
are.
they're first or second in the league.
Mhm.
So
And-
it's going to be a
and
good matchup.
Yeah, and then on Sunday, the Hoppers are back in action against the Unicorns, and that's a 1:35 p.m. start, just in case you all can't make it to the ballpark tomorrow evening.
So that's going to be it for us at Jimmy John's Field. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler will be back with you tomorrow at 7:05 p.m. Hopefully it's not quite as bizarre of a game as it was today. But thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.